Hello, welcome to Mossdala. We're gonna read for Leo season today. And if you're looking for personal readings, then you can send me an email or a message and we can find something that works for you. Move this. All right. So, what do we have here? Oh, it's the Emperor still. And again, of course, he is connected, just like the Emperor, to the environment through the Emperor, kind of. But it's like there's the bees on his coat, and there's a bird, and there's land animal, like the ram. Yeah, it's good to remember that, because it's like there's this unhinged Emperor Aries kind of version around that goes around thinking that it can just do whatever and not care about the consequences for the environment. But we know better, don't we? Five of Cups. Yeah, I know. It sucks when stuff doesn't work out, but maybe it needed to happen so that we can learn a lot of stuff from it, and so that something, the next thing, the next cups can really be appreciated by us once we notice them. It's like, are you receptive? Are you receptive to the cups that want to come? Or are you still crying over the spilled cups? And I mean, yes, take your time to grieve and actually feel it and be there for yourself while you grieve. But at some point, if you really let it flow, then it won't weigh you down as much anymore, at least not as often. Lovers. There's a lot of talk about like the polarities, and sure, like the signs too. The astrology signs have the polarities, but really when we integrate both those opposing signs, it kind of becomes like something even more together, something that they can't be on their own, and that shows about that interconnectedness of all the energies. Even though they're different, they're still part of the same tapestry that is weaved together, all of the different energies and, so to speak, opposing signs or whatever. Five of Swords. Something dishonest, something happening behind behind someone's back. It's like, why can't you just be honest? If you need something, why do you have to steal? It's like, it's gonna create more karma. But if you share your truth and your situation, then I bet that you can find people who can help you. We're all interconnected, so we want to take good care of everyone when we can. Oh, Ten of Swords too, of course. Well, it's the worst before it starts to get better. Yeah. Well, this means that there's like some sort of thought patterns or yes, that cause anxiety and restriction in one's life. And what I really want you to know is that it's not permanent, that you can dissolve these patterns, that those negative thought patterns, and yeah, make something different instead. Oh yay. Death, indeed, it's the end of a cycle. There's a lot of fear of death and endings, like that can be noticed in the culture and how we treat these topics, but in a way it's like it's just part of life and it's not the end, even if some parts of the community, the ecosystem dies, those parts still like keep decomposing and feeding the system in a way, living on in a different form. It gets like this metamorphosis. So that's what I think this is about. And you know, it's like yeah, maybe mostly in sense of the ecosystems, the it's like important that there is that necromass, that biological matter that decomposes. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess the fear is about like, will we lose? If we think of humans again, it's like if we lose our life, is it the end? But what really should matter is like, are you present and living your life right now? Because that's really the only thing that you can affect, or like what you can have an impact on is right now. Because that's the only place where we really are. So enjoy your life, because you don't know when it's gonna end. But I would say even if it ends, it doesn't really end. It's just a different journey after that. We don't need to identify just as this human person, even though that's our role for now in this life. But we are part of this much bigger system and the spiritual realms as well. So, but yeah, still there's anxiety. Wondering like what the specifics of this is. But we can also compose that anxiety too. It's like yes, feel into it, and why did it come? And there might be like the wanting to understand or like comprehend how, like, what happened, why am I in this place now, that this time this didn't work out, and so that I can prevent it next time. I can do it differently. I can make different choices. Notice, be more aware of what's happening earlier on so that it doesn't get as bad. There's always a lot to learn in these things, so that might be helpful. Well, I know it is, but you know. Eight of Cups. So yeah, we're moving forward from this anxiety and overthinking and unhelpful patterns by becoming aware of them and then deciding to move on. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, slow and steady. It's not gonna happen exactly overnight, or like we're in such a liminal space right now between the ages is where they overlap. So everything is going to be a bit volatile, and a lot of things are really becoming clear what's not working. But if we keep slow and steady, like the Knight, go forward and build something what actually does work and what we do want, like a diverse nature and gardens, forest gardens, food forests, permaculture. All these things are slow and steady methods, but in a couple decades it can feed us locally, the communities. So that's something to look into if you haven't heard of those things. And in fact, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and she's very grounded, and she knows what's practical. So really interacting with our present time realities, how we learn about these things, and like being present with the seasons, with the changes, with the cycles of the year and the moon and all these things. She's actually looking at the realities of her practical experience. So that can be something that we all can learn from. Yeah, like I said, with the Emperor with Aries, it's like it has somehow, it seems to me like it's been such a kind of detached energy from the rest of the energies. Like even if it stands for individuality and going your own way, that doesn't mean that it's not connected to the other energies, like the other elements and the other signs. It just means that we gotta find ways where we integrate that in a good way, where we get to choose how we participate and collaborate and build teams and make plans together too, so that we're not just going along with what someone else is deciding. Well, that can sometimes work if it just happens to be what we also want, but it's like we really need to know ourselves to make the decisions that really that work for us. And really we do that by making the mistakes, and it's okay to that the cups fell and the connections didn't go as we had hoped, because I believe that it was still meant to go like that for the purpose of our evolution, so that we keep learning. Because I believe, like, even though it's like nice and all when people give advice, and sometimes it's great and it like helps one forward already from advice, but really the deepest learning that I've had is from the biggest missteps that I have made, and I have made many. So, and I'm like, I feel like it has enriched my life, so don't be afraid of making mistakes. I feel like what's worse is being stuck. That's really, I usually that's really like more of a pain, but maybe that's just me, my biased. But yeah, just some thoughts that felt like sharing at this point. Yeah, the towers. The towers. Some are our personal towers, and then some towers are more collective or public kind of displays of dynamics. But what it basically means is if you build too high without humility, then the lightning of truth, the wrath of, well, of the earth goddess or of the sky god, could say Uranus or Feronia, the wrath comes at some point. And that's like when we learn then, like, ouch, I better not do that again. if we are aware of like what we did, but it's like usually it's about unequal Inequality, yeah. It's like putting ourselves higher than others or giving ourselves more, I guess, in an unjust manner. Yeah. But then we just want to be grounded and practical and calm our nervous systems down when this stuff is happening, if it's in our own life or more like on the news or something. It's like it's just inevitable that these things will happen because we're all still learning. We got the Knight of Swords. Maybe this has to do with Mercury. Mercury really like finding our strength and our voice, sharing our truth. And no one can tell you how to do that. You gotta find your own way, your own pace, your own words, and what is it that you want to share about. It's really is like part of our interconnectedness is the communication in words, but also like the intentions behind the words, and also like the interactions, the body language, everything affects how the overall tapestry then weaves together. So everyone is important, and it can look very different for everyone, like how to do it, but it's great to communicate, and I'm always grateful for some signs of life in the comments. So thank you for those too. Yeah. There's also some voice events in the Discord server. Discord is an app. You can download it for free for the computer. And we have these voice events where we meet each other where we are and just talk about things that are important in the moment to whoever shows up. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can reach out. There is a link below. And shall we just see a few cards more and then wrap it up? Oh man. More swords. 8 of Swords. Yeah. Sometimes the thought patterns make us kind of blind to what else can be possible. So we really sometimes we need to evaluate, like, is this really true, or is this something that has been imposed on my thoughts, like I have absorbed this from someone in the family or something, or someone else that's close to you, that, or from the culture too, that limits your perception of what's possible. And if you notice something like that, then be there for yourself and be compassionate about like that you didn't notice it before. It's okay. And then work on replacing it. Like think about like another belief, another pattern that you can affirm for yourself that feels more true to you and that's grounded. And yeah, that's how you can start to change that pattern. And it goes a bit back and forth. Like it's okay if sometimes you dip back into that, like we here go back into the swords, but sometimes you dip back back into the overwhelm, or then like be there for yourself, calm yourself down. You can figure this out and change the patterns. The mind is flexible after all. It's like it's not meant to run the show and imprison us. It's meant to be helping us, like this Knight of Swords, helping us to relate to each other and speak our truth and express. Yeah, so if we can get through these hurdles of these swords and the endings, I think we will get to some grounded, creative partnerships, and also like individual, authentic expressions, lives, indeed. Yeah, move away from what does not help us, and get down to earth and to ourselves and to the truth. Thank you for listening. I've enjoyed this reading. It was like pretty strong energies. I hope this helped you, and don't hesitate to reach out. I check my stuff almost every day to see if someone's reaching out, and then I'll get back to you within a few days. So thank you again, and take good care. See